and we can go through with our agenda. I guess I don't see anybody new, so I assume everybody knows. We have, let's say, Ian, of course, Saul, Howard, Prakash, Colleen, Raymond, and I guess I have everybody. So anybody wants to do a shootout to anybody? Shout out? Colleen, you want to say something?
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a new person. Chong Chang Mao. Hello?
He's muted.
Okay, maybe we'll get back with him later so he can introduce himself. Okay, so do we go ahead and get started with the minutes, Howard? Your phone is muted.
You're muted.
Are we going to put the minutes up or?
Yeah, I'm in the process.
Okay. I did not get any comments, Colleen, from anybody, so I don't know whether we got an issue or not. Okay. Well, we Helen called the meeting to order, 5:06 p.m. These are the attendees that were there. And then we have the secretary report of January 19th. And Ian and Daniel moved to approve the XCOM meeting with the correct e-week luncheon date of February 25th and the miscellaneous typing error corrections. The motion carried. Chair's report. Helen attended the membership development meeting. We'd regained about 4,000 members, new or renewal. IEEE was down 6.5% in November and down 4% in December, giving about 2.5% improvement. Section should do an initiative to contact those not yet renewed. It's part of our vitality for the section. Dr. Berger and Helen attend the OSU Winter Banquet. Dr. Berger spoke on the new OSU, and the new OSU president addressed the group. Section gave 4 service awards to 4 officers. Planning for virtual legislative day with OSPE. Legislative day is tentatively scheduled for April 23rd. Howard's working on getting an IEEE speaker for the program. The virtual section congress is scheduled for April 9th to the 11th. Friday through Sunday, since it's virtual, may be open to more than 2 section members. And Helen will put a note out to save the date. I received approval for check signing for the account. Region 2 meeting is scheduled for March 6th, and Helen will be attending. Training is available in the Center of Excellence. Everyone should have the access to the training for your position. I discussed with Sol Black the need for a refresher course on the use of V-tools and events. We can do that next month. Vice Chair's report, no report. Treasurer Daniel reported the following: met with Joshua a couple times, has access to the account, have signature authority to sign checks, have the proposed IEEE Section 2021 budget for review. After considerable discussion on various issues, including how to handle site, project, financials, and making some changes, the modified budget was ready for approval. The motion 21 2.2. Maribon Jones moved to approve the modified IEEE Columbus Section 2021 budget. Motion carried. Motion 21-02.3. Jones and Daniel moved to modify the IEEE Columbus Section 2021 budget to incorporate legislative day with OSPE, ASC, and IEEE funding at $1,700. Motion carried. Final copy of the approved budget is attached to these minutes, and they're at the end of it. Helen requests the societies that receive grants funds directly to their societies submit a year-end report to the section treasurer in December 2021 showing the summary of financials, income, and expenditures for the year. Professional Society Membership Development Section meeting. Chairperson Soul Black Soul's not here tonight. Helen reported that she's trying to set up a senior membership drive in the next month or two. Professional Activities Chair Ben Maribon, nothing planned so far. Educational Activities Chair, no report. Webmaster Ian received an email from IEEE. They had a banner on IEEE discounts. He added the banner to our homepage. You can click on it and takes you to the various IEEE accounts. Student Activities Chair, no report. Jim Reed. James presented 2 appendix sheets from IEEE R2 year-end audit of IEEE Columbus Section 2016. Copy these 2 sheets as a part of the minutes, B1 and B1.1 and B1.2. We need to complete the year-end financial summary reports for the following years: 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 in electronic form from the treasurer. We need all of this in spreadsheet format, not PDFs, to be able to manipulate them for audit purposes. I believe I have received the detailed supporting data in electronic form and will provide that into our section audit summaries. 2020 will be a little more difficult with Concur being introduced in September 2020. Daniel will get with James on how to get the information together required. James would like to get historical financial audits completed by mid-year. Section advisor, no report. Site project, John Trock reported working on zoning, working on detailed design, contacting possible purchasers of farm products. Affinity Society, Tana's propagation, no report. Computer and communication, no report. Control system, no report. Electron devices, photonics, no report. Engineering, medicine, biology, no report. Power Energy Society, Records reported PES has a presentation scheduled across R2 PES section. Doesn't have the date at this time. PES advisor, Richard Smelker, no report. Signal processing, Kieran Young Lee, no report. Solid state circuits and systems, Rami, no report. Young Professionals Chair, Colleen was not present. But Hawaii and Franklin County Chapter, NSPE, OSP are having a joint meeting February 26th at 7 p.m. Improvisational comedy night. There's still a few seats open, but one needs to register. Women in Engineering, Helen, reported that the event scheduled for February 17th had to be rescheduled. The presenter had conflict. Helen will reschedule it in the next couple of months, probably after Easter. Having a membership development event on March 25th may be difficult to recruit members during the pandemic. Okay, we go down to DeVry. Ian advised that DeVry should be removed. They are part of the DeVry Online. DeVry University Online. Ian advised that they had two events, one on Tuesday for former graduates, and another was a society workshop. No report from Ohio University, Ohio State, no report. Graduate student, no report. Zane State College, no report. And Columbus State, no report. Still have the guidelines tabled. The new business, John Chock wants to give a talk on urban farming. It is recommended that this talk be done virtually to all of the sections in Region 2. Helen requests that John provide a date and the presentations and an abstract on the topic. The program will last about an hour with some time for questions and answers. Ian and Josh had planned to create a system that would hold various section files. Ian research found that adding Collabortech to our home page as a header would be the best solution. Ian has added the IEEE Collabortech as a header. Clicking on this opens a form which requires one to sign in with Collabortech and has various basic rules. These are the various folders: WebEx, Site, 2020 Audit, and Section Minutes. Meeting adjourned at 6:56. Motion carried. Respectfully submitted. Howard Jones, Columbus Secretary. Is there any corrections that anybody sees or needs to be made? Can we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion.
Ian, was that you?
Yeah, that was Ian.
Okay. Get a second?
I second.
Thank you.
Any opposed?
Well, I was going to say all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you, Howard. So we'll move on to report. I guess I'll just briefly see if welcome, Chong Chang Mao. Would you like to say hello to the group? You can unmute your phone. Okay, maybe we'll get back to that later. So, okay, for the chair's report, the planning of the virtual Ohio Internet Legislative Day is, are we getting a lot of echo, Ian?
That was Howard. I muted him.
Oh, okay. So the planning is pretty much complete. We have definite date, which is March 23rd from 9 a.m. to, I believe, is 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon. It will be 4 hours. So the registration cost for IEEE members is $35, and for non-members is $50. And then these events, it will provide 4 continuing development or PDH hours. And we have a volunteer representative from IEEE, which is Jeff Lehman. He will do a presentation talk about grid assurance, and hopefully he will be able to do some updates, maybe through legislation or some of the technology on grid assurance. Okay. Good news from the membership development. Actually, February and March is a good membership rate, and they have about 1.4% increase on membership renewal and new membership. That was really good. And I do recommend for members to check out the Section Congress. I think they have sent out the save the date or registration. So if not, I will put that on the website unless everybody did not get an email. And I think that's all I have. So we can go to the treasurer's report. I don't see Daniel online, but him and I had a meeting last night discussing about how to proceed with 2021 on how to make it easy to do our accounting. Oh, okay, Daniel is in just in time, so I'll let him speak about the treasurer's report. Daniel, welcome.
Give him a second, unmute himself. He's still in the process of getting connected.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Sorry about that. I was having trouble getting logged in. I assume we're waiting on me to say something.
Yes, I was starting to mention about our meeting last night, but then I saw you come in, so I figured you're just in time to do the treasurer's report. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going through the finances for the past year, so 2020, and then leading up to our 2021 budget as well, and trying to reconcile everything. So part of the process there is bucketizing the different funding that we have for different groups. Right now, all of the funding for, let's say, PES, YP, everything is all in one account, which is fine, but we have to have a separate way to track how much money is allocated per account. And I'm working through segregating that. So that's going to take a little bit of time, but once I have that, I plan to show that and display that with the group, make sure everyone's on board with how I plan to split everything out. I also will be sending out to our board, or to our officers, if you will, monthly financial statements, if you will, just to kind of show, hey, this is where we're tracking with each group. This is what was spent, just so that everyone has some visibility on where they are with their chapter or their chapter's funding. But that's going to take a little bit to set up, but just wanted to let everyone know, I guess, where we're trying to head here in the next, hopefully, month or so.
That's great, Daniel. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That's great. I know you have a lot to do with the mess that we have right now.
Yeah,
so
it'll be interesting.
It's a lot of work. So I really, truly appreciate your work on that.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. All right, so we can move on to professional societies. And we'll go with Sol, membership development.
Daniel, I had a quick Helen, I had a quick question
go ahead,
for
Howard.
Daniel. Just a quick one. Legislative Day, have we paid the fee for the our?
Is that one you sent to me, Howard, or was that to Josh before?
Well, it was $1,700 that goes to Ohio Society of Professional Engineers for Legislative Day.
Right. So I know I
I
kind of
don't
took over
think they
treasurer
sent an
duties. Okay.
Okay, I don't think they sent an invoice. They generally don't. We put it in the budget and it's confirmed that we need to pay it. And
Okay.
I just didn't know whether somebody has processed that or we started it or just saying
Okay.
it probably should be done shortly. That's all.
Okay. I'll look into that. If you already sent an email on that to Josh, I'll have to follow up with him to make sure we don't send them two checks. But if you
Well,
haven't sent anything, then yeah, I can write a check tonight. And send it
okay,
over.
I don't really know. That's why I
Okay.
was just asking. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
I'll look into it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I sent an email to you guys, to Josh and Daniel, on March 5th with the address to where to send it to.
Okay, perfect.
you
Yeah,
wanna-
I'm seeing that now. And it looks like, Helen, you just sent that to me. So I will just go ahead and pay it, and then we'll reconcile everything in this process later.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, Saul, membership development.
Well, I'm pleased to report we have scheduled a senior member information night for April 8th, and thank you, Ian and Helen, for helping me set that up.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think the notice and the event should been. I know the event is out.
It came out already, I believe.
Okay, good. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank
You
you,
want
Saul.
more?
You're always welcome to tell us, you know. Let's see. Ben is not unable to attend. He did send me a message that he had a conflict. So we'll move to education. Josh is not here. So Ian, do you have anything to add?
No, we haven't even talked yet, so I'm still waiting on him to eventually get to me on that stuff.
Okay. So now we'll go to the web. And any update on our website issue?
On the website, no, but the region is actually currently looking for another webmaster, so I might be in charge of that here soon. We're supposed to find out on Sunday what's going on with that. Other than that, honestly, I don't think I have anything I can really report.
Okay. And let's move to the student activities. I guess that's you, Saul, and Carl. I don't see Carl online.
We don't have any report on that.
Okay, I need to check with him on the status of the site project, if he's needing, you know, anything from us, because he did mention that we might do a trip to see the site sometime in May. So I need to double check if he has any update on that status. Okay, with that, we can move on to Jim. I don't see Jim online, so I guess there will be no audit. Howard, do you have any updates from what we need to do for to close out the Ottinger process, audit process?
Well, I'm still waiting. Josh, to my knowledge, has not taken your spreadsheet and put all the individual things that go with it so it matches up. He had to go back through his files and pull all those checks that we had that he paid and tie them to the spreadsheet where we pointed out that there was a lot of blanks. And he said he was going to do it he said when he would work on it after he did our final on the 2020, which went in February. I think a couple days before it was due. And then we'd hoped to have it. Well, I had told Eidinger that I expected that he would finish it somewhere between the 1st and the middle of March. And to my knowledge, I've never heard anything, whether he finished it or not. And that needs to be finished and sent to Eidinger with all the information. We did that way back in October or November, whatever. And that still needs to be done. And when it gets it to them, they're getting into tax season now, so they probably won't be able to jump on it right away, but they will look at it and review it and give us comments. I don't know what to do other than Josh has to pull the stuff together. I don't know that Daniel can pull it together because Josh said they were all in individual files and stuff. You know, he had it set up separately and he didn't put them together. Oh, James, you're there. You have any comment?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. James just got here.
Yeah, I see that. Hi, James.
Hello, Jim. Would you like to comment on auditing or some of the initiatives that you're doing to help us out?
Question if he's even hearing us. James, you hear us? Raise your eyebrows if he hears.
I think he might be just
James.
trying to log in.
Hello, James.
Hello,
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
you hear me?
hey,
We hear you.
I can't hear.
great.
But he
Do you have
can't
any
hear.
comments on the auditing?
I think he said he couldn't hear. He's,
Okay, we can get back to him. Maybe he's having technical difficulties. All right. All right, so we move on to section advisor. Bob is not in. I have been trying to get a hold of him since January, so I hope he's okay, but I have not received any response from him at all, which is kind of unlike Bob, since he always responds pretty quickly. So I hope everything is okay. We move on to the site project. Neither Carl or John is online, so I guess there's no update on that. And we can move on to the societies and affinities. I've been trying to get a hold of most of the section chair, and so far I have not gotten any response from them. So I think I will send them another blanket email that they really need to start reporting to the section. Otherwise, if we don't have any, report, I did see a few events that they created. They should be doing some more events, and then if they do an event that we can join with the other technical section to maximize activities within the interactivities within the sections, that would be good. I hate to lose some of these technical society that's been around for a long time, especially communication society has been around for a long time, but they have not had any event, and they're gonna, if you don't have any event for a while, they kinda disbanded you, so that's not a good idea. Okay, then control society, Carl is not here. electron and photonics, Dr. Berger, hasn't joined the meeting in a while. I need to send him a message to do so. I know he's busy on trying to prepare for the conference in August for the flexible circuits. So that's a lot of work. And I did ask him to give us some direction, so that we can prepare how to help him and make sure that we have enough volunteer that could actually, since that's happening in Columbus, so we should be co-chair or at least supported by the section. We need to be able to make sure that we're able to help him on that and successfully do the conference, since that's a big conference. Okay. Engineering and medicine, no update. Power and Engineering Society, Prakash.
Good evening,
You guys have
everybody. Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So again, good evening, everybody. So I'm Prakash Shrestha. If somebody doesn't know me, I'm trying to regularly be in this meeting, like for last 2-3 months, and regarding our chapter event, I'm working on two upcoming event, so one event will be related to the PS Day in April, and I'm also selected as the ambassador for this chapter, and I have already confirmed the date. So one event which will be like a PS Day event on April 7th, and that event, I have a speaker from the Washington State University, Professor Anurag Srivastava. So he'll be presenting on DR stuff, which will be related to like a clean energy. That's what the requirement for the PS Day in April month. And another event will be on April 19th. And that event is related to monitoring, like a data management for transformer failure prevention. And the speaker is an engineer from the AEP. So again, I'm working on the draft, once the drafts are ready, so I'll be sending the flyer, and probably you guys will see the notification. Yeah, so there will be 2 events coming in April.
Great, thank you.
Any question for me?
No, none this time. It's just that you guys are great on keeping up the events. So that's
thank you.
really good for us. Yeah.
Thank you. And Helen, can I ask you one thing? I think Sol mentioned about the the training available for the chapter officers. So I took this chair position this year, so I'm kind of new, so is there any a training, good training available for us, like for chair, for the vice chair, or other position available? We can check.
Yes, I will look at the Center for Excellence, the CLE site, and I'll try to find something and send you the link.
Okay, that will be nice. Perfect. And one more thing I want to mention, I just remembered. So, we are trying to fill the position, like officer position for our PS chapter. So we still have one position for the secretary open, so if you guys know anybody, who is passionate about, being volunteer for the group, please let me know. I'm also trying to get one person from my side, talking to my colleague in my job, but as of now it's not being that successful. So if you know anybody who wants to help as a volunteer, or take the secretary position, I would like to hear.
Okay, so we probably need to look at the PES in OU Analytics, because I think in order to be a secretary for your section, they have to be a PES members, in addition to being just IEEE. So they need to be member of the PES society.
Okay. 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 That's okay. I wasn't aware of that. Like there needs to be like PS member. Yeah. So I look on that one, like so I'm just asking if you guys know anybody, like maybe who's PS member and like interested being the officer, like maybe they can contact me.
Okay. We did
Or
have a few. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I will see and what we can find for you.
okay. Thanks, Ellen.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Next would be the solid state. I don't see Remy on the line, so there will be no update on that. And we can move on to the next affinity group, which is Colleen. I know you have an event this week, so you can give us an update. Hello, Colleen?
She's unmuted.
Oh no, can you not hear me?
No, we hear you.
We can hear you now.
She's muted again. Well, she's not muted, but it's not hearing.
Yeah. We lost you again. We heard you for a little bit.
Yeah. Not next. Oh, we see you.
Oh, we see you, but you're frozen. Looks
You
like.
froze. She's got buffer issues right now.
Okay.
Shut your camera off and keep that off for a while. I think you have buffer issues going on in your house.
Yeah. Turn off the video. Video takes a lot of time.
She chatted.
Yeah. I'll just type it in if you can't hear me.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, I just heard something. Dang.
She has typed in the chat.
Yeah. What is it?
It's great.
Okay, since you got 16 people attended, that's great. That's a joint event with the Ohio State Student Section.
Stirring.
That's
Oh. Okay.
okay. Is that you, Ian?
Yeah, I'm trying to share the Cisco WebEx. Okay, that's not sharing right.
Just found now.
Oh, I hear you. Like keep speaking and I'm freezing.
Colleen's having problems.
Okay. So we'll give her some time to maybe update us a little bit later, so we can move on. And he says no. Oh. Okay. Oh, thank you, Colleen. All right. So for the we have an event. Actually, I changed from March 25th to March 30th, our membership development, and I sent out the e-notice. Of course, everybody is welcome. The Women in Engineering is always available for all members. I know Cheng Lu is one of our actually area chair, and we did have a meeting on March 11th for the Region 2. So there's a lot of planning of events right now that's going on. We have the International Leadership Conference, and that's virtual. So that's a very good event for members to attend. And there's also a plan to resume the Women in Engineering East gathering in November. Hopefully by the time November come along, we'll be able to do some face-to-face meeting. But right now, I think IEEE, national IEEE still don't have a mandate. The mandate is still virtual on all events. And also, I got a update from Tom Timcho on his presentation. So we will do the presentation tentative May 6th. And hopefully we can have some good attendance on that, because that seems to be a good, interesting topic on the Smart Columbus connectivity project. And that's all I have. I did discuss some joint event with Colleen on members' professional development, maybe have something to do with PE licensure, because there's a lot of changes there, and also on members that needs to have their PE, what is the requirement and how to obtain it, how to study, something like successful way of doing it. And I know Colleen is a PE and also a member of the OSPE. So hopefully we can have that scheduled, if not this spring, maybe in the fall. And that's all for we. Any question? All right, if no question, we can move to the student branch. Scanning, looking at, I don't see none of the student branch advisor online, but I do have contact with Ohio State student section. They have assigned a young lady to communicate with me. She's unable to join tonight, but her name is Catherine, Katie Castaneda. So she's like a social chair for Ohio State undergraduate student section, and she reports to me some of their activities. Okay, since there's no update on student branches, any new business that anyone would like to discuss?
How about we get back to Jim? He's on.
Okay, Jim, we can go back to
Audit
section
report.
audit. And section audit. I think he's muted.
There he goes.
Okay.
Am I back on?
Yep.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you're back on. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to throw it over to Howard. He knows where the status of the outside auditors are. Maybe you could speak to that, Howard.
Well, I did, James. I mentioned that we have, I don't know whether Josh has completed filling out that spreadsheet. I mean, we had the spreadsheet that Helen put together, and then he was to provide all the detailed information, which was the backup for all the checks that were written on the checks. In other words, they needed to be tied together, and he's supposed to have done that, and I thought he was going to try to get it done by the middle of this month, but it looks like it's probably going to be after that, end of the month, and we're going to get in where Ollinger is working on taxes for people. So I don't know how, they said they will look at it when we get it to them. And I told him, we'll get him to you when Josh gives it to us, when he gets it together. I have not heard anything whether he's put it together. I've had no comment from him at all since he did the 2020 budget stuff in IEEE. I don't know whether we even started on it, so he doesn't communicate about it.
Okay,
That
Howard.
needs to be done. That's the question. Needs to be done.
Okay. The other thing, there was a note out from our new vice chair, Professor Berger, and he had asked Daniel for some kind of reconciliation. I guess Daniel's online there.
Yep. Yeah, do you just want me to describe the situation, Jim?
Okay. What happened?
I said, are you just wanting me to describe the situation?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Paul Berger's looking for how much money he has allocated for his stuff, if you will. And being that all of our money for our section is in one account, and it doesn't, to my knowledge, doesn't look like we had any sort of tracking for it. I'm unable to tell how much is allocated for his stuff versus anyone else's. So I'm going through and trying to. Oh, Jim, do you have something?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going through and trying to reconcile as much as I can. I'm going to put some assumptions, and then I'm going to talk through Helen. I'll talk with you, Jim, and talk with Howard. Make sure we're okay with our next steps and whatever assumptions I made, and then from that point on, we're going to use that to start tracking everybody's funding.
Okay.
Now that Howard, it sounds like we're waiting on Josh to put together some information from 2020. But after I go and redo or revamp stuff, that like whatever I do may not match whatever Josh does if he gets to it. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. Oh, I think
You're muted, Howard.
You're muted.
Yeah, I just, Daniel, what I was talking about that we had, it was the 2019 that he's never provided the data.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that shouldn't affect my stuff.
I'm still trying to get that. That was part of the thing. They've looked at 2018 in general and we paid some money to them when they did on that. But then when they started in 2019, they found all kinds of things that weren't backed up. We've got all these big checks written for Maker X and everything, and there's no backup data, receipts anywhere yet. He's got them, he says, but he had to pull them out. Well, we're waiting for him to pull it out and put it together, and we give it to the auditor to look at, and they can tell us then what our issues are if we have any. But I think that has to be done, and we've been trying to do that. Well, going way back into when we first started this thing with Ottinger. But anyway, we went over, sat down. Helen and I sat down with Josh, and Helen typed up the spreadsheet, gave it to him, and said, okay, here's where you need to put the stuff together. And he's going to do that after he did the 2020 final report on our section to IEEE, get that in. And that was about a few days before the required date. So he got that done. Now I'm waiting on what he needs to do, and I don't know whether he's not going to do it or what, but he needs to do it. He was the treasurer, and he's got the records, so he needs to provide that. That has to be done. Other than that, anything you do in 2020, whatever you do in 2020 is all right. I don't.
Well, so I'm saying we're going to run into the same issue in 2020. I'm just making sure we're aware of that, but I can true up 2021. Okay.
Okay, thanks, fellows. I'll give you some news from the other.
Daniel.
You say what?
Go ahead, Jim. I was just going to say,
Howard,
Daniel,
wrap up.
we won't send you to jail. How's that?
There you go. Fair enough.
Since the last XCOM, Howard found 2016 internal audit done by Region 2. It's a very good audit. It's a simple 2-page thing. Everybody can understand it. that leads me to the bad news. We don't have an audit for 2017. We don't have an audit for 2018. We don't have an audit for 2019. And now we're out of 2020. Supposedly, headquarters requires that all transactions for the prior year be processed by mid-February and the audit completed by March mid. A comment? This is part and part of, I think, what Daniel and Howard just told you, that the lack of transaction.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we did when Howard and I met with Josh, we went through the 2019 expenses and all the check that was written on, and then we went through some of the questions, the questionable ones, and that's what we wrote down. And the spreadsheets that I sent to them, we had comments on it. Okay, what was not missing, what did not match. Some of those issues were errors from people who submit the reimbursement. Either it was a wrong amount or just a little bit off or something, and we made a comment. So my opinion is, in this case, since we're so far behind, I think we just have to get all the finances and create the audit ourselves and complete it. That way we have some kind of record that it is some of the items that we cannot find documentation. We either find minutes that supports what we spend, like for example, MakerX. We did allocate money to MakerX. And that was one thing that we told Josh, is that you need to produce at least some written receipt of when we gave money to the Expo Center, to Bill Ball, or another expenses that he got. At least produce some receipt. But those expenses we did voted on, and if we can't produce a receipt, we just have to agree that this was spent to that, and then there's nothing else we can do. But we cannot hold this thing open for so long. So we just need to we just have to take an initiative to close it, and try to do a little bit better in the future. That's my comments on it.
Okay. I did trace out the head auditor at Region 2. She's still there. Her assistant has moved on. But I didn't know if anybody wanted to elevate this and let someone else manage it or whatever, but that's what I looked into.
Well, I guess, Helen, I guess my concern is Josh says he has the stuff. He just has to pull it out of his folders that he had it in. That's what he needs to do then. Pull it out and give it to us. If he can't find it all, that's a different issue. But he should pull everything he's got and put it in that we need that. He said because he started off a different way, they were in different folders, he did it differently. He didn't actually separate it, so he had to do that. I think we still need that. He's probably got the receipts. He just needs to get it to us with what we pointed out. That's all. We had a lot of big funds that went out. I mean, it wasn't the small stuff. It was big stuff.
Yes,
Thousands
I know.
of dollars went. So
I
think
saw a few check written for MakerX that are a couple of $1,000 on it. The epics are pretty clear because they receive 20,000 in 2019, and I think 10,000 went out in 2019, and the remaining 10,000 went out early 2020. And then Dr. Berger got another 10,000 later in the year. And I think that's what that's what he's got, that he still have about, 5,500 left on that one. So, but in my opinion is we can't, I know Josh supposed to have all these documents, and I've tried to go into the Google Drive to kind of look around what's in there, and I'm just at a loss of what can we do as a section. We cannot force the guy, you know what I mean? If he wants, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any thought on that, Daniel? Because I just, if he doesn't want to help us, we just need to take an initiative to look at all the file and comb through it.
Yeah, so I personally don't think it's a good idea to wait. I think we need to make a decision, otherwise we're going to be waiting for a while. So I think what I was pitching before, which is I'll just go through, reconcile what I can, make assumptions, make sure, we have a committee look over it, and then we start from that point forward. I think probably is the best path forward. Make sure we have a committee look over it, and then we start from that point forward.
Okay, my last piece of bad news.
Howard, can you mute yourself when you're not talking?
Who, me?
No, Howard.
Oh. Howard's usually muted when we need to hear him.
I know. Now when we don't need to hear him, he's unmuted.
He's unmuted. Okay, well.
He's getting a kick out of that.
I know he is. What was I going to? Oh, the other piece of news was that I think around the middle of September, headquarters decided to unleash Concur. I don't know who's doing what. From what I've read in the past, there's only 3 people really authorized: the chair, the vice chair, and the treasurer to make payment out of the section. Now it looks like Concur turns it into a free-for-all. You take a little training, anybody can write a check. I may be wrong on all this, but it looks like that. The other complication with it is that came in the last 2.5 months of 2020. I'm not even looking there right now, but I just see the problem coming.
Yeah, Jim. So I have access to Concur for approving expenses. So we've actually went through our first one with Colleen. She sent over expenses for one of the events she threw. I approved it, and then after that, it goes to IEEE. Call it IEEE corporate. They make sure all the stuff is approved as well, and then the check goes out. As far as who I can delegate it. So I believe, and don't quote me, but I think I'm the only one that can approve them. Okay. But I can assign different people to be like my second, if you will, if I'm unavailable. And I don't think I know I haven't assigned that yet. So
that's very
hello,
good,
Daniel. Hello, Daniel. I think I'm the last approver.
Oh, you are? Okay, sorry.
Yes, because I do get an email after you approve it, and it gets reviewed, and it goes back to me to approve it. One thing that I'm concerned about, because Colleen and I were the first one who get reimbursement last year when Concur first, what do you call that? We get used, or maybe just Colleen, because I don't think I did some reimbursement, but. Carl's supposed to have spent some money on his site, and I have not seen any reimbursement. From the 2020 CBRS report, a couple of the reimbursement through Concur, it showed in there, but none of the site project. So I'm not sure if Carl completed his reimbursement or something. That he might need to check that out, because they did spend some money on the site.
So
I don't know
Helen,
what.
are you saying he spent money and did not submit the expense?
Yes, I don't
Gotcha.
think he has submitted.
Okay, okay. So then that would obviously hit his, his bucket of money, but I don't think
That's
that's
correct.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we can resolve that when we get there.
Right, because the 2020 CVRS report that did not include any expenses from the site at all.
Gotcha.
That sounds like good news on the concur, at least the end of the year there. Be stingy with your authorization, Daniel.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, that's all I have for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Any other new business to discuss? Well, if not, thank you everyone for joining. I know it's we're trying to make sure we stay within the hour. That way we don't try to encroach too much on your time. Everybody is busy nowadays, especially things are seems to be getting back to normal, and summer is coming up, so we got a little bit extra time to be outside. So if there's no other business to discuss, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. So Howard, motion to adjourn, and Ian, second. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.